When I was growing up in the church, children weren't allowed to take communion. So that meant when everyone else went forward for communion, we stayed in the pew, or the plates of communion were literally passed right over our heads as everyone else had communion. I remember one Sunday, as this was happening, I said to my mother in a rather loud voice, "Mommy, why can't I have some Jesus?" I was really confused. As I've grown, I've come to understand just how big this table really is, how inclusive it is, how welcoming it is, more inclusive and more welcoming than possible for a human institution or church. Because in a very real way, this table doesn't belong to WHPC or to the Presbyterian Church or to North American Protestants. No, this is the Lord's table. It's a symbol. It's a symbol for the way we are fed and nourished by our God, and it's a symbol of our interconnection with all other Christians. As Christ followers gathered at this worldwide table, we sit as equals. All races, all cultures, all stations, all standings, not only connected, but actually in need of one another. As our study concludes, we're going to explore today Paul's most profound image of Christian community, an image that comes to us from the 12th chapter of 1 Corinthians, and it's Paul's image of the body of Christ.
Hear now the words of the Apostle Paul from his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verses 12 through 27. The Greek is translated into English by the New Revised Standard Version this way. For just as the body is one and has many members, and all the members of the body, though many, are one body, so it is with Christ. For in the one Spirit we were all baptized into one body, Jews or Greeks, slaves or free, and we were all made to drink of one Spirit. Indeed, the body does not consist of one member, but of many. If the foot were to say, "Because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body," that would not make it any less a part of the body. And if the ear were to say, "Because I am not an eye, I do not belong to the body," that would not make it any less a part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the hearing be? If the whole body were hearing, where would the sense of smell be? But as it is, God arranged the members in the body, each one of them, as he chose. If all were a single member, where would the body be? As it is, there are many members, yet one body. The eye cannot say to the hand, "I have no need of you," nor again the head to the feet, "I have no need of you." On the contrary, the members of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable, and the members of the body that we think less honorable we clothe with greater honor, and our less respectable members are treated with greater respect, whereas our more respectable members do not need this. But God has so arranged the body, giving the greater honor to the inferior member, that there may be no dissension within the body, but the members may have the same care for one another. If one member suffers, all suffer together with it. If one member is honored, all rejoice together with it. Now you are the body of Christ, and individually members of it.
I think thinking about the original theme, Iron Sharpens Iron, was such a compelling reason for me being here. Men typically aren't real vulnerable, like the female, and in this group we can be vulnerable. We can have accountability partners, and we share, trials and tribulations and heartache and and celebrations too, which is a great forum for that.
For me, just such an important thing to have this group of guys that we get together weekly. We do Bible study together. We do a lot of other things together. We encourage each other. There's so much good role modeling that goes on in the group, and this group gets heavily involved in all aspects of the life of the church. And just you said it dead on, Larry. The iron sharpens iron. I mean, that's what it is, and it's just a real important part of my life for sure, and I know for you guys as well.
So I think a lot of us might be in a Sunday school class or a renewal group, but I think that this Tuesday morning group is something that I look forward to. Waking up at 7 o'clock, getting my day started with a message or something that I can carry through. And it is nice, as Jim mentioned, to hear people's personal stories, personal situations, that how we can reach out and help them, or how the group can help us.
Yeah, and it's good that we have kind of an announcement time at the end where if somebody has a prayer need or if someone has something that they are involved in that they'd like other people to participate in, those things, and somebody has something that's a life event that's important, like we had a big celebration for Mike Douglas's 70th birthday recently, and that all those things happen in the group because everybody's close to one another and everybody cares deeply about one another and is wanting to know what's going on with each other's lives and all.
Yeah, the forum of this group is a informational source. I mean, we have lots of people involved with different aspects of mission and giving, and if I wasn't here and hearing some of those announcements, I wouldn't have had my antennas up to know, hey, this is something I need to step into. And so it's a great opportunity for us to know what the church in general is doing.
Right,
and people
to connect. To connect. I think connect on a personal basis.
Yeah, I mean, building relationships is such a vital part of this whole group. I consider you guys my best friends just because I'm with you almost every Tuesday, and it's just great to have someone to share life with. And like we talked about earlier, there's times where we need to be picked up, and this is the best group I would go to and say, hey, I need some prayers, I need some help, and I feel comfortable sharing those things with you guys.
It's just a great way to get to know other men, as you say, new people come in, but even people who've been a member of this church for a long time that you might not have been in their circle. Just by our format that we have small groups, you get to know the guys pretty well.
Yeah, that's the one thing about sometimes when you come in, go to church, and you leave, you really don't know them personally. And so this gives a forum for you to know about their life, their family, their issues that are going on, and people share stories, and stories are what are important. And so I think the body of Christ is evident when we have something happen. We had one of our members passed away a few years back, and the widow needed us to go up and help, pack stuff up and clean the yard up and whatnot, and we gathered and we served, and that was a wonderful experience and outpouring of the body of Christ that manifests because of this group.
So here are a few key takeaways from our lesson today. The first is that Christ's work gets done in our world through us. There's a mystical reality here that somehow, as we are connected in the body of Christ, that Christ's work will get done. Secondly, that we need one another. We are dependent upon one another, and the diversity in our community is not only important, it is essential to getting Christ's work done. And finally, that as the body of Christ, we need each other, we differ from each other, and we are to care for one another.